Okay, good morning. Good morning. Morning, YouTubers. Just scrolling through the internet. You've landed on this video, and this video is going to be about putting my makeup on now. My eczema is starting to flare up. I don't know, hang on if you can focus. Oh, come on. It's disgusting, I know. Well, you can just about see, here we go. It's flaring up. This is because I've got warm jacket. Yeah, you go, you can see just here is a nice dry patch. It's a flare up. And on the other arm, flare up. Under my chin, my mouth. My mouth is actually healed a bit. I put antiseptic cream on it, which is kind of like, this morning I've woke up and there's not as much dry patches. My eyes aren't dry as of yet, because I'm just constantly putting moisturiser on. I picked up this foundation, and it's a breathable foundation. It's Rimmel London. I really love Rimmel London. The colour is ivory because I'm quite pale at the moment, and it's lasting finish, breathable, so I thought that'd be quite nice actually if I've got a thick amount of moisturiser on underneath. I moisturised about half an hour ago. I can still feel it. But the cool thing about this is, like, when you open it, the applicator is like a sponge on the end of it. Now, because it's my product, this is my makeup, I'm happy to put it on my face, put it in the pot, on my face, in the pot. However, if you're working on a client, I'd recommend using your palette on your hand and applying the product here. Or you can even apply it to a nice, clean, sanitised palette. So I'm just going to go ahead and put this straight on my face. Okay, so how I usually do this is I put a nice amount here, and then I do the triangle under my eye as a highlighter, as you would do with your highlighter. And I kind of just leave it to set. It feels breathable. It's not such of a thick coverage. It's not like a massive coverage. It just gets what it needs. Notice I don't take the product to the exact sides of my face. Because then that leaves room to blend, apart from that bit there. So when you blend out, as I'm getting older as well, I'm noticing that my pores are starting to get larger, and I think that is a lot of dehydration, skin issues, my diet, the fact that I squeeze my spots. I'm taking it down my neck because this is a main issue as well. Now, my face is really, and not just my face and my arms are really itchy at the moment, and it stings a lot. Anything that I put on my skin stings, really, unless it's like aloe vera or like a nice oil. So this morning I took an antihistamine tablet. I don't really recommend them because they're not good for your liver. Right, I've just literally covered my face like this. I'm just going to let that kind of settle, and I've got a damp sponge. I like using a damp sponge because I have dry skin. It feels nice, and it kind of helps the product move a little bit. And I'm just going to pat all that in. See, I'm just itching. When I get itchy, or especially my eczema, rather than actually itching it, like stab it instead, so then you're not actually flaring the skin or irritating the skin. I used to, when I was younger, if I'd itch, I got in the habit of itching my hand like the palm of my hand or the end of my thumb. When you itch, it sends like, it's almost like a telephone network, like because your body and your nerves, I just dribbled, your body and your nerves is like a telephone lines, if you just imagine like an internet connection. So if you get itchy here, then you'll itch here, then you'll itch here, then you'll itch here, then you'll itch here, then you itchy here, then you itch here, then you itch here, then you itch on your legs, and all of a sudden you start to get itchy everywhere, and that's when you flare up all over your body. Is the actual issue is the itching itself. So you itching is causing everywhere else to itch. And the fact that it's dry skin, so like the back of your legs and things like that. So usually in the creases where you sweat a lot. So what I used to imagine in my head, and this kind of used to help, was I'd just itch my thumb and then the telephone network would go out of my hand and then it's gone then. And then especially at night time when I'd be asleep and I couldn't sleep because I was itchy everywhere. I just used to itch my hand, so I'd be asleep and I'd itch my hand. So for example, I'm itchy on my foot, I'll itch my hand and then I'd just brush it out, brush it out, brush it out, and then I'd just see that in my sleep, and then I'd be asleep, and then there's nothing you can do to control itching when you're asleep other than I don't really know. I always found that a struggle. Without taking any sort of sleeping tablets or anything. You don't want to get into the habit of taking tablets at all, really. You want to do it naturally. So it's all, I found that it was all like in my head in a way. Even though it wasn't, it was physical. It's something that I can see now. I'm older and I've still got it. A lot of it is stress related. So by keeping your stress levels down, don't let it get to you. Don't think in your head, look, I'm itching now. Don't let it get to you. Mental state, because once that starts to weaken, you're just gonna take it out on yourself by itching. Right, powder. I'm gonna powder and set all this. I'm just using sheer loose powder, translucent powder. Picked it up for like £2 at a makeup store. It's like just a pharmacy, really. If I'm at work and I'm starting to sweat, I kind of do this thing where I'll put hand sanitizer on where I'm itching, and that the stinging of it helps it, rather than itching it, kind of helps release that feeling that you need when you itch. Not only that, but it kind of dries it out, so it stops it from sweating. I find that when I'm sweating, that's when it gets itchy. So if I put hand sanitizer on it, on my arms, it'll stop the itch and it'll dry it out, which isn't good, drying out dry skin. But then after a while, once the itch has stopped, you can put moisturiser on. Just don't itch it once you've got your moisturiser on, because that moisturiser is helping you. I know how difficult it can be. I mean, when I used to cut my nails really, really short, like super duper short, it's just so I couldn't do it. But the itch was unbearable, it was driving me insane. I'd grab anything I could, like I'd use a comb, like a hair comb to itch with, or objects to itch with. Don't do that, don't do that. Do not do that, it's your body. Itch your thumb instead, or bite your thumb instead, or get into habits where you're still releasing that urge to itch, but you're not. Like I said, like tricking yourself helps me get through it. Okay, so today's makeup, I'm going to highlight my whole face using this highlight palette.